afternoon and welcome to QTV News, coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. I am Ansmane Sonyasi. Here are the main local news headlines. The NPP-led Grand Coalition on Friday wrapped up its election campaign tour in the West Coast region with meetings at Kubune, Busumbala and Brikama. 7 fire engines and a water bowser were received by the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service on Friday, donated by UK's Avon Fire Brigade. UNICEF, in collaboration with the UN agencies, on Wednesday organized a validation of the situation analysis of children and adolescents in the Gambia. As the December 4th presidential elections looms, the guarantors for code of conduct for presidential candidates have reminded the candidates and the media of their roles and responsibilities. And in sports news, Beatrice Allen has been elected president of the Gambia National Olympic Committee at an elective General Assembly on Saturday. Those were our main headlines. Now we take a look at the news in detail. The NPP-led Grand Coalition on Friday wrapped up its election campaign tour in the West Coast region with meetings at Kubune, Busumbala and Brikama, where the people predicted President Barrow will sweep the polls. Alusise reports.
300,000 registered voters. The people of Brikama North, Busumbala and Brikama South constituencies separately converged at Kubune, Busumbala and Brikama, where a huge welcome was accorded the president by jubilant crowds. At all the meetings, several speakers expressed confidence that President Barrow will sweep the polls as they credit the NPP coalition candidate for the numerous transformation in his first mandate, despite the challenges. They urged the electorate, particularly the youth and women of the country, to give their support to President Barrow. They want the president to be given another mandate for more development. Nima Kinte, a UK-based Gambian and NPP diaspora media chairperson, described President Barrow as a leader who views every Gambian equally and wants nothing but a peaceful and developed country. She asked the people to be grateful for having someone she described as a honest and respectful leader who is faithful.
Wallahi, President Barrow la julole benna la fitan na jo la carte walla. Ninna soton sawola mota dani la jam. Nali yalom man samembal bulo kono wallahi alta danila nali yalom man samembal bulo kono wallahi mota kaja fila nyin banko ka
For the NPP-led coalition candidate President Barrow, his ultimate objective is to positively impact the lives of the people. He said the large crowds is another manifestation of their love and a firm decision to vote for him. He vowed to deliver life-changing projects to every Gambian, irrespective of political affiliation or location. President Barrow reveals his plans to depend on taxpayers' money to implement more projects.
bari ñi sanji lu lo ko ron demal la fi pour kan na jikin na partnal do lafta jigla fa wala lafta jigla na bankol la wala ga sira jama be do ko gambira na flo man ina do modi ne juromi at yi ñew mu wara wéru ko na yaakar ci ñi may dimbalé ni ma bëgg rek ma wéru ci suñu boppa ci nguur gi su ko defé juromi at yi ñu bëgg liggéey bi def wala ken ni be bañu dogu ka mba dogu ka gambia ko doon lolo tax yoon ñoo liggéey bi bañu nim taaro nonu xaalis réew mi lañ ko liggéey wala ken ni be hakalan silo dogu ka mba dogu ka gambia ko doon liggéey yi nga xamné ni liggéey yoon yi ngeen dégg ci def yi ma liggéey yépp sama sanjal la silo mba dogu ka gambia ko doon yoon sama sanjal ni xaalis réew mi lañ ko liggéey ñaani jaani salon la silo mba dogu ka gambia ko doon ñaani ja salon hakalan yoon yoy gën dégg yépp xaalis réew mi lañ ko liggéey kiyal la silo mba dogu ka anu mba dogu gambia ko doon yooni kiyam bi ñoo liggéey ci jamono ji xaalis réew mi lañ ko liggéey ko mboroors me dogu kan ne anu me dogu ka gambia ko doon yooni ko boy ñoo liggéey ci xaalis réew mi la woto wala ken bi hani afrika mu men be advice la lolo tax ma ngeen digal sa afrika yépp ali be nga jikin fanna
On Saturday, the tour entered the Kanifing municipality with the first meeting at Fajikunda in the Latrikunda constituency. On Sunday, there will be 2 meetings at Park Jola in Ibo Town and in Bundung at the Bundung Primary School. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
The Gambia Fire and Rescue Service on Friday presided over the handing of a ceremony at the Bakau Fire and Rescue Station of 7 fire engines and a water bowser donated by the UK's Avon Fire Brigade. Air Jawa has more.
The fire and rescue appliances, secured with the aid of the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, are part of the Gambia government's effort to ensure effective emergency response by the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service, specifically during fire outbreaks. The already labeled trucks are set for distribution to fire stations including Bara, Kanilai, Basse, Kotu, Bakau, and 2 for Bajakunda Fire Station in the Upper River region. In his welcome remarks, the Chief Fire Officer of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service, Sang Kolindau, expressed gratitude to the donors and thanked the Gambian government for providing the needed support in securing the trucks. He assured the public of their commitment to ensure swift and timely responses in emergencies.
I'm assuring every Gambian that safety will always be available at their doorsteps in time of need, and I'm glad to inform you that there is a water bouncer within the fleets of appliances paraded here. This single-out vehicle is expected to provide added advantage during firefighting activities. It can carry up to 20,000 liters of water. However, it does not discharge water for firefighting, but it carries water in form of emergency water supply.
The Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Fanta B.S. Mane, deputizing for the Minister of Interior, Yankuba Sonko, says the Interior Ministry is committed to working with all stakeholder institutions in the country by providing support that will enhance state institutions to effectively and efficiently carry out their functions, adding that the donated machines will contribute greatly to the reduction of loss of lives and property during fire outbreaks in different parts of the country.
The Gambia government is committed to the provision of protection services to the people of the Gambia. Therefore, the reason why $2 million, among other interventions, was catered for to spend to ferry these equipment or these engines to the Gambia. We look forward to your continuous collaboration and support in the implementation of the government's efforts to keep our country safe and secure from incidences of fire.
Lamin Kamara, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, says the donation is timely and will add value to the work of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service. He thanked the Avon Fire Brigade for their continuous support to the government of the Gambia and commended the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service for their persistent efforts in rendering quick service delivery during emergency situations.
The Fire and Rescue Service is a critical stakeholder in the success and progress of the petroleum sector, and the health and safety is paramount in our activities, hence our resolve to support the transporting of these fire engines to the Gambia from the UK. I would therefore urge our brothers entrusted with the management of these resources to take good care of them. And my plea is to all of us is to serve our people with excellence and diligence, which I know you've been doing and you will continue to do.
These firefighting trucks, when properly managed, will contribute immensely to the department's emergency response to the frequent and destructive fire outbreaks across the country. The Avon Fire Brigade has been a great friend to its Gambian counterpart and has previously contributed trucks and other firefighting equipment. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Now, UNICEF, in collaboration with the UN agencies, on Wednesday organized a validation of the situation analysis of children and adolescents in the Gambia. The validation came after a nationwide consultation with partners. Fatusi Sanyang reports.
Part of UNICEF's mandate is to fulfill the rights and protection of children who are vulnerable and often neglected. Therefore, the UN agencies are keen to reinforce the Sustainable Development Goals and to promote the UN Sustainable Goals. Serafin Wakana, the UN resident coordinator, says the validation is important as the UN country analysis is being developed to attain the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda.
The analysis of the situation of children and adolescents in the Gambia, what we call SITAN, is a key contribution to the country common analysis and the major building block of our UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, a core instrument for providing a coherent strategic support from all UN entities at country level to national efforts. This SITAN validation is timely as our 2021 country common analysis is currently being developed, and the incorporation of the SITAN can enable the CCA to be anticipatory and forward-thinking in projecting the achievements for children and adolescents.
Noah Toure, the Secretary General of the Gambia Civil Service, via Zoom, reveals that the validation will complement government's efforts in promoting the rights of children in the Gambia. Gordon Jonathan Lewis, UNICEF representative in the Gambia, also via Zoom, complimented the UN agencies for their contribution to sustainable development.
This particular moment and the particular set of milestones related to the UNICEF 2030 document with the larger UN exercises that are taking place in tandem. The common country analysis, and we hope that this situation analysis of children can complement and provide a lot of rich information for the UN common country analysis, and eventually for what will be the Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, where we at UNICEF will be deriving our proposals.
Sustainable Development Goal 4 is about quality education and is among the 17 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations. However, the paper reveals that about 50,000 children in the Gambia are presently out of school, mainly because of poverty. Recommendations by participants included the National Assembly increasing the budget of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. For QTV News, I am Fatisi Sanyang.
And from that report by Fatisi Sanyang there, we'll take a short commercial break, but we will be right back.
The fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
2,221,301 Gambians, 7 administrative areas, 53 constituencies, 1,554 polling stations, 962,157 registered voters, 6 presidential candidates. On State House. Who wins the seat? Decision 2021, only on QTV and Q Radio.
Welcome back from a short break. Be reminded you're watching QTV Midday News, coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ansmane Sonyase. Now, as the December 4th presidential elections looms, the guarantors for Code of Conduct for presidential candidates held a press conference to remind the candidates and the media of their role and responsibilities during the electoral cycle. Jawa tells us more.
The 5 guarantors of the Code of Conduct are the chairman of the Christian Council, Bishop James Allen Yao Adiko, the president of the Supreme Islamic Council, Sheikh Esa Dabo, Elizabeth Rena, former Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Usman Yabo, and His Excellency Mohammed Ibn Chambers of the National Elections Response Group. The team of experts, which comprises religious leaders, have raised concerns over hate speech and the use of inflammatory language during the ongoing political campaigns. This is to ensure that peace and tranquility prevails during and after the December 4th presidential elections. Elizabeth Reina, the former Speaker of the National Assembly, explains.
As you may recall, the 6 presidential candidates met on 11 November 2021 at the Sir Dawda Jawara Kairaba International Conference Center to sign the Towards Peaceful Presidential Elections in the Gambia Code of Conduct for Candidates. In the Code of Conduct, the presidential candidates pledged to commit themselves and their supporters to peaceful presidential elections. The candidates also demonstrated their commitments to credible elections.
The former speaker also highlighted other important commitments that the 6 presidential candidates agreed to uphold during the signing of the Code of Conduct on November 11, 2021 at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center.
To run issue-based political campaigns at village, town, city, district, constituency, municipal, regional, and national levels. 2, to publicly condemn violence, intimidation, and political thuggery at any time during the election process.
Elizabeth Reina further spoke about the media's role in the maintenance of peace and security and the promotion of democratic principles in any nation, particularly during election period.
We would like to entreat our media as the 4th estate of the realm to exercise their responsibility and ensure that their platforms are not used for propagation of hateful and inflammatory language.
Earlier this month, the 6 presidential candidates, namely Adama Barrow of the NPP, Usainu Dabo of the UDP, Halifa Sallah of PDOIS, Mama Kande GDC, Abdullah Ibrahim Jame NUP, and independent candidate Esa Mbai Fall, added their signatures to the 14-point promise meant to guarantee a peaceful election campaign and voting on December 4th. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
Now, Amnesty International, the Gambia, on Saturday celebrated 60 years of the founding of the international organization by launching for the first time a community focus group in Farafenni. Here is Don Williams.
The event began with a march past led by the Scout Band, followed by the inaugural ceremony at the Farafenni Senior Secondary School Hall. Ibrahima Ejaro, the president of the Farafenni Focus Group, explains the purpose of setting up such a group.
This group we are about to inaugurate today is formed to engage in human rights advocacy by enlightening and educating members of the community on the core values of human rights and the principles of human rights. A democracy that will promote inclusion and participation in public domain for all, a democracy that will ensure a peaceful existence, a peaceful coexistence, a democracy that will ensure we have a strong social cohesion, a democracy that will ensure human decency. We have to uphold the basic principles of human rights.
The guest speaker, Amadou Jaro from Peace Ambassadors, also has this to say.
We cannot separate children's rights when we talk about human rights, meaning we should recognize the existence of every child, but as well reflect on the fulfillment of the rights of every child, meaning on this day, that children should be given the chance to become what they should become, but people should protect and fulfill the rights of children.
Amnesty International is an organization that is working within the community, and they are here to enlighten the rights of the children. They are here to tell the community the rights of everybody, especially the children. They are here to tell people the dignity or the ways that everyone should be treated and everyone has equal rights.
I attended this wonderful program, which is human rights. What are our rights and our duties in this country? As we all know, we have right to educate. Our parents should give us the maximum right for us to have education. Without education, we are nowhere.
Mamadou Ba, the coordinator, also said this.
The significance of launching this group is that this group is going to be involved in human rights advocacy. You know that the Gambia, when it comes to human rights, we have a lot of challenges because we are emerging from a 22 years of brutal dictatorship. People's rights have been violated. People have been very afraid of the security forces of the government. The government that was supposed to protect them was the same government that was prosecuting them.
It is believed that the formation of such groups will create greater awareness about human rights and the rule of law in communities. Reporting for QTV News from Farafeni, I am Don Williams.
And over now to some sports news. Beatrice Allen has been elected president of the Gambia National Olympic Committee at an elective General Assembly on Saturday. She defeated Lamin Kinkoli 25 to 17 votes. Our sports reporter Mound Gajaga attended Congress at the GNOC House in Kanifing, and he now reports.
Former GNOC Vice President Beatrice Allen has been elected President of the Gambia National Olympic Committee at an elective Congress. She defeated Lamin Kinkoli 25 votes to 17. Also, her camp won the first vice presidency, which went to Lamin Kaba Bajo. The second vice president Usman Wada and Secretary General Yaron Jai. Beatrice Allen didn't do the traditional victory speech. She instead referred to her manifesto. However, she promised reform of institutions.
We need to reform the Gambia National Olympic Committee, and we will do it, because that is the reason for the way these elections were held. We are very happy. We say congratulations to our contenders. We are not enemies, like the Electoral Commission chairman said. We are one family.
Losing presidential candidate Lamin Kinkoli says the election was free and fair. Even though he was hopeful of winning prior to elections, he still accepts the verdict of the majority.
The election is totally very free and fair elections, but there is a saying in English that you can take the horse to the pool and you will never force the horse to drink. Now we've been done our campaign very intensively. We are out to talk to the associations, the appropriate people, so that we can diverse our sports, the way and manner our sports is administering. But as I said, we can only talk to them, but we cannot force anyone to vote for us.
The election was observed and supervised by Lamin Sane, governor of the West Coast region. He urged unity in the interest of sports. Beatrice Allen has been the first vice president of the GNOC since 2009 and a member of the International Olympic Committee beginning since 2006. She also served as vice president of the World Baseball Softball Confederation since 2017. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, congratulations to Beatrice Allen, and I'm afraid that is all we have for you in this bulletin. But here's a recap for main headlines. The NPP-led Grand Coalition on Friday wrapped up its election campaign tour in the West Coast region and with meetings at Kubune, Busumbala and Brikama. 7 fire engines and a water bowser were received by the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service on Friday, donated by the UK's Avon Fire Brigade. UNICEF, in collaboration with the UN agencies, on Wednesday organized a validation of the situation analysis of children and adolescents in the Gambia. As the December 4th presidential elections looms, the guarantors for Code of Conduct for presidential candidates have reminded the candidates and the media of their roles and responsibilities. And in sports news, Beatrice Allen has been elected president of the Gambia National Olympic Committee at an elective General Assembly on Saturday. That is all for you in this bulletin. Do join us in the evening for more news.